Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Ooh, child, the floodgates open last night. I feel like the floodgates are not wide open just yet, but I do feel like they are cracked at this time because people have, been digging up different video. They have been, tweeting and giving their little, opinions and things. I ain't gonna say little opinions, but girl, saying what they gotta say. But if I could be honest, girl, I still want to hear from some of, and I feel like honestly, we're not gonna hear from these people just yet. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like we're not going to hear from these people just yet, but I want to hear from the peers of Mr. Diddy. That's just what I would like to hear from the peers of Diddy, and if they've witnessed anything, and if they, how they feel about everything that's going on at this time. All right. For those of you guys that's been somewhere under the rock, and not really sure of what the hell is going on with P. Diddy, let me go ahead and let y'all know. First of all, let me know that you guys can hear me in the chat too. I want to believe that y'all can, because if y'all can't, y'all would have said we can't hear you by now. But either way, girl. All right. Um, Diddy has a $30 million lawsuit on his mother hands at this time. Not only does he have that $30 million lawsuit, they're saying that he's in, I guess, like the middle of a secret investigation. So I'll check those deets out as well. But Cassie, if you guys are familiar with Cassie dated Diddy for a very long periodical time, honey. And Miss Girl has decided to sue him. Now it looks like, I believe it's called the New York Adult Survivors Act law, where if somebody has committed a sexual act or crime or whatever against you, and I believe the limitations is up on it or whatnot, the statute of limitations may have expired or something like that, you still can bring a civil suit against that person, right? And it appears that she brought that civil suit up right before it was getting ready to end. Okay, so that's what's been going on. There's been all kind of allegations out there when it comes to Diddy. According to Miss Cassie, she is accusing him of sex trafficking, honey, rape, physical abuse. Girl, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I did a live yesterday when this story first dropped, because at first I was like, girl, are you playing? Is this serious? For real? Like, is this for real? And I found out that it was for real. So I came to y'all with a live, right? In the middle of that live, I was saying, or at the beginning, I was like, I need to get the court docs. Well, somebody did send me the court docs, child. They did send me the damn court docs, but I didn't see it till I hopped off live. So I said, everybody's talking about it. We'll talk about it on the next day. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to get into the court documents and just read it, because I have not even read it yet. Okay. So I don't even know what the hell it says. I received it, haven't read it, but I want to read it with y'all. So we are definitely going to get into some things. But before we go and hop into those things, we got to see what the people have been saying over here on social media and stuff about this. Okay. So let me put this over here, because I believe Aubrey O'Day, let me go to her page. I want to go to her page and see what she has to say, because y'all know Aubrey was doing interviews and stuff when Diddy came out and said that he was willing to give people back like their royalties or their rights to their songs and stuff in exchange for them to sign a NDA to never speak on Bad Boy or him or any of his businesses. There were a few people that said, bitch, I'm not signing that. And I don't blame them. Like, I want to sign that either. Like, first of all, for me, I would probably, in all honesty, y'all, the way they keep doing Tupac documentaries, and you know how they constantly do Michael Jackson documentaries and movies and stuff after the person had passed or whatever the case is, I feel like you'll make more money still talking about Diddy, hate to say it, and what you witnessed. You'll get paid more money for discussing this man than getting the royalties to your songs, because as new music is being played, it ain't like they really gonna be playing your old music like that for real, for real. So he done damn near dried it all up. He done squeezed damn near as much water out the towel as he can. I mean, if you squeeze a little harder, girl, you might be able to get a little bit of water out. You might be able to get a little change in your pocket. But in comparison to be able to like talk about what Diddy had going on and what you witnessed and what your experience was like and all of that, I want to sign that shit. So I don't know why a lot of them signed it. But I mean, if it's gonna help you get a cute little 2,000 here or there, into your household, then I don't know your situations. So okay, cool. Do what you do. But I don't know how that works with Danny D. Kane when you got some of the members didn't even sign. You got a few that signed, but you got 2 of them that didn't sign, which I believe was Aubrey and D Woods. So if they didn't sign it, then how far can the music really go if you probably need signatures from everybody? So I want to sign. If all my group members ain't in on it, I want to sign it. But everybody a little different. But let me do this. Okay. Let me switch over here. Okay, I want to make sure y'all can still see me and stuff, girl, because I'll be acting a little funky over here. All right, so now I got my screen up. And let's see, I'll do it like this, okay? So let me go into her stories, because I know I saw a lot of blogs like reposting her story. So I'm going directly to her page to see what her stories say, okay? Don't know what she got on there, but let's see what they say. Now Aubrey, I ain't come over here for this now. You promote your OnlyFans. But girl, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do now to block his hot about Diddy. Let me see. All right, boom. This is one where she says, okay, the caption says Cassie accuses ex. Let me go back. Accuses ex Sean P. Diddy Combs of RAPE and abuse over a decade in new lawsuit. His lawyer responds. Now, Aubrey says, I've been trying to tell y'all for years, prayers up for this queen. Okay. And she has, because one thing Aubrey does not do is fuck with Diddy. Okay. If she had to rock with him professionally, possibly, but she do not fuck with that man. For real, for real. Let me see what this one was.
And you can answer or you can say pass. Do you think Diddy put the hit out on Pac? Was a loaded question. No pun intended.
Pass. Okay, let me say this. You know damn well we can't talk about that shit because, people getting murdered in the streets is a real thing. But I did spend a very, very one of the most interesting nights of my life with Suge Knight, and I did ask him who killed Pac. And I also hung out with Biggie's mom at the Duets album release, and I asked her who killed Biggie.
Wait a minute, you done hung out with this man, mama, and you done sat up here and asked her like she want to talk about that who killed. You done hung out with this mama, supposed to be having a good time, and you over there asking questions about who killed Biggie. Girl, I guess, honey, guess you didn't read the room on that day. We have about 300 people in the chat, so let's go ahead and get the likes up to over 100, please, while I do something real quick like on my end, and then we'll get back into it. Let me do this real quick. All right, perfect. There we go. All right, bet. So, girl, yeah, I think that's a bit rude, but if she answered it, then okay.
Answer you?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what Aubrey was talking about, okay? I think that she slick believes that Diddy did have something to do with it, like a lot of people do. She just don't want to blatantly say it, okay? But it looks like she highlighted something. They're saying Sean Diddy Combs accused of RAPE, physical abuse for over a decade by ex Cassie. She highlighted this portion of the caption that says the rapper who goes by P. Diddy allegedly controlled and abused Cassie for over a decade, as well as plying her with drugs, beating her, and forcing her to have sex with multiple male prostitutes on video. This is something that Aubrey highlighted. And my question is, what exactly did you witness? That's what I want to know. What exactly? Because I feel like she's witnessed a lot. I feel like a lot of people around Diddy may have witnessed a lot. They probably ain't witnessed everything, but I do believe that they witnessed enough. Let's see what else Aubrey talking about.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Not you playing R.
You're not happy. You hate me. Then why you have me here?
I don't have to have you here. That's one thing that we can make clear. That's one thing we can make clear.
But
I don't have to have you here. I'm trying.
Why do you have me here?
I have you here. I have you here because I feel you talented. But don't get it twisted. I'm starting to think about why do I have you here?
I'm not getting
okay, so you clear on that though.
Oh, now he about to stand up. She says in the caption down below, she says, if you think what made the cut was as ugly as it got, then you're wrong.
You clear on that. You understand now. I'm asking myself, why do I have you here? So I'll move on to something else. And I'll give you the answer soon. All right? And you may not be here then.
Okay. Before it gets to that.
And anybody want to go with you, they could go too.
Maybe Diddy used to cut up.
Don't get it twisted, man. It gets dark and lonely. It does, trust me.
Not it gets dark and lonely. Let me go
You look
back.
good.
Okay, so she says he was right. It does get dark and lonely. Girl, when I tell you she trolling the fuck out of Diddy, she is trolling the hell out of him. This person named Kevin Ortega says Aubrey isn't the only one who didn't sign that little NDA he was sending out. And she says, no, I'm not. And then she added D Woods, and she also added Andrea. Neither one of those ladies signed it as well. So I guess it's about 3 members of Danity Kane that did not sign that paperwork. So I don't know why the others who signed it. I believe Dawn maybe on this recent album that he dropped. Don't quote me, but I think she's definitely worked with him in recent years. But she also sent her love and support over to Cassie as well. So I'm like, okay, you sending love and support to Cassie again. What did you witness while you're out here continuing to work with this man? But okay, let's see. All right, exclusive details. RBO Day in complete support of Cassie. In complete support of Cassie and Diddy. Okay, she says, been trying to tell y'all for years. Then she goes on to kind of like post the people that she's talked to, which is D Woods, Brooklyn Babs. Oh, snap. Then Willie Taylor. So she's been on the phone with everybody today. Everybody today talking about Diddy and his FS. Baby, when I tell y'all that the chickens have come home, the chickens have definitely come to hell home for sure. What else did I want to get into? Azalea Banks. Azalea Banks has had her opinion as well. So let me get Azalea Banks up here, because one thing Azalea gonna do, she gonna read the people. She gonna tell them a little something about themselves. All right. So Azalea says this is true. One time Diddy beat her up so bad he sent her on a 3-week quote unquote vacation to Hawaii just so no one would see or question how her face got like that. Whoa. She says another violent hip hop homosexual. This is what mental illness looks like for all of you armchair psychologists. Okay. Psychologists. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know nothing about no damn 3-week vacation. So that got me kind of like, okay, girl, what's really going on? We're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna find out more. Okay. Young Jock. They don't found a video of Young Jock. Let me go ahead and try to refresh this and see if we're able to hear what Jock has to say.
You remember Scarface when that white woman was coming down the escalator? Yeah. He was in that man's house and he saw that man's wife and was like this. I was watching Puff. The nigga Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around her. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that? Like, so when I'm like, what the fuck? So when I look up there, this white woman's side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cassie. I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm gonna do.
Whoa.
You remember Scarface when that white woman was coming down the escalator?
Whatever Sean wants is what I'm going to do. Very, 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 very interesting. Now, something else that's interesting. Shout out to Keon, just sent me something. Let me share this with you guys. I guess this is what they're alleging was a time that Diddy busted Cassie's face in 2014. I believe this was when people tried to say, or at least they were saying that Cassie said she fell off of a motorbike or something like that. Because if you see a lot of her pictures, like that scar right above her forehead where you see the little white thing at, that bandage, she still has that scar above her forehead to this day. So that's just really weird. Is she smiling in this photo, girl? Who got this and how? this was taken in 2014, like, and you smiling in the pic. I'm trying to look through the glasses to see who the hell took the photo. Was it you or somebody else? Like, what's going on? Who child? Cassie, she says, new Ray-Bans on my way home. This was, oh wow. What happened? You're always the most beautiful, Cassie. What happened? I don't think she responded and told them what happened, but they said Cassie posted and deleted this worrisome picture in 2014 during her Dubai trip with Diddy. Reports later claimed that it was an ATV. That's what it was, an ATV accident. That was a clear lie. I feel like ATV would have, like, scraped you up more than what that is. Okay. She says, after and never again, because I love my mommy. She posted her broken glasses. Her face was covered up. Child, I don't know. That's crazy, girl. All the signs had been there this whole time. All the signs had been there. And I don't know what the hell we was on. We was too busy doing something else that we wasn't out here paying attention. But the signs have been there of abuse with Miss Cassie. Okay. So that's what's been going on so far. There is more, and I want to hop to a Tasha K video where she did an interview, because that's surfacing, right? She did an interview where she interview, I believe her name is Gina, one of Diddy's ex-girls or something. So let's hop over here and see what she has to say.
He had caught me texting another man. We was in Miami, and it got really crazy that time. We was upstairs, and he had, like, we were in his closet, and he, like, pushed me, and I fell to the ground, and then he like stood over me. So I was, like, laying on my back, and he stood over me, and he started, like, punching me like this. Like, he avoided my face, but he, like, started punching me, like, on the side of my head, and I was just, like, covering my face. And he did that, and then after he got done doing that, he, like, because he was standing, his legs were, like, in between me, so he stomped on my stomach. He had caught me texting.
I believe I heard
man.
that before. I do believe that I heard her mention this. I can't recall how far back this video goes, but I do remember something like that about him stomping on her stomach. That is some wild shit. But because she wasn't famous enough, you know what I'm saying? People probably thought that she was capping or she was lying and stuff like that. Let's keep going. There might be more. Is there more? Okay, so that's all that they have so far of her speaking on her abuse situation with Diddy. And if you didn't believe it before, then now it's starting to come to the front, and it's starting to be a bit clear. Okay, and I want to get into the breakdown of the dynamics of she and Young Miami, because they ended up arguing at some point, having some exchange of words. And I feel like Young Miami's response to her slick kind of validated some of what this young lady and Miss Cassie is saying about Diddy. Okay, but before I get into that, I do want to share this. I saw this comment in the comment section of the Neighborhood Talk last night, and when this story first came out, this young man by the name of Dexter James Media came and he wrote under the post and said, "It's all true. I seen it with my own eyes as her personal assistant. It was sad to watch, but I'm happy she is good now and speaking out." Okay, now gonna have to check credentials and things like that when it comes to this young man, but it does look like some people in the industry definitely follow him, so he could very well have been her personal assistant, possibly. But this is what he's alleging, that everything that we're learning about the Cassie and Diddy situation is indeed true. So, girl, it's gonna be more falling out, honey. It's going to be so much more falling out. But real quick, I want to go back to an article over on Gossip, okay? Over on Gossip from 2022, the end of 2022, okay? But you know what else is interesting? And I'm not trying to discredit anybody or anything, but I feel like Diddy really had a hold on Gina. He must have, he could have possibly been paying bills or something, because that interview with Tasha K, I think, was like from a few years ago. But here it is, Gina's still somehow involved with him. And I really think that it probably was because he was financially financing her lifestyle for her to continue to be around, because there's been times where she's been caught on camera with him, like on IG Live and stuff. She's been going back and forth with Young Miami and things like that. So I thought that she was like a recent girlfriend. I forgot about the interview she did with Tasha a long time ago. So just wondering, he got some type of hold on her mentally and financially. But let's go ahead and go. All right, so this article says Carisha pleads Young Miami drags Diddy's ex, Gina, for her jokes about his new baby, Poor Sushi, because y'all know he ended up having that baby on Young Miami last year. Okay, baby love. They say Young Miami is getting trolled for her loyalty to Diddy amidst his antics, and now his ex-girlfriend is joining in. Miami, however, is clapping back in a series of tweets with little assistance from her City Girls co-host. Okay. Let's see if we can I'll go ahead and continue. Of course, Diddy revealed that he had a sixth child with a 28-year-old woman named Dana. All right, they said that a Young Miami and him were in an open relationship at the time. But okay, one person couldn't wait to go ahead and troll her, and that person happened to be Gina. Gina says when she beefing with you over a ninja, but whole time he got somebody else pregnant. So once this came out, that's when Miami decided to come out. Well, really, JT said he sent you to the chop shop. Sit this one out. I guess chop shop meaning made her get no abortion or something. All right. Now, Miami tells her, Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture, ho. You've been crying over a baby for 10 years, ho. You've been around a BIT that eat pussy and DICK when he feel like you a eater. It's the when he feel like it for me. It's the when he feel like it for me. You'll eat the cool and the DICK. And that just makes me think of the allegations that Cassie is out here making, how she would have to participate in certain acts that he would sit back and watch. Okay. Miami goes on to say, you the same BIT that was crying on Tasha K because you wanted a baby. Poor Sushi. She goes on to say, you want a baby, BIT. I have a career hope. You a certified freak. Girl, all I'm thinking about when I hear this is freak offs. Okay. You call her a certified freak. And this is kind of what Cassie was saying. He would refer to some things as freak offs. She goes on to say, you haven't heard from Diddy since the awards reminiscing on abortions. Yikes. Let that hurt go, Chun-Li. Girl, this is crazy. Then Miami said, if I wanted you to eat my pussy, Diddy would have had you on your knees. You a eater. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Do y'all see what are we on the same? This is old. They were beefing last year. I don't know what kind of beef they got going on now, but this is definitely from December of 2022. Okay. So it's almost a year ago, but still, it's just the things that Young Miami was saying that to me kind of validates a little bit of what Cassie was claiming. So how he would have her on her knees? Okay. That's your man, girl. You know more than me. Who the hell am I? Was there anything else? Okay, I think that's pretty much how that one ended. Okay, with these ladies going back and forth and Young Miami saying some things, as I said, they kind of validated. All right, validate some of the stuff that old girl was saying. All right, so I just wanted to get y'all to run back the play-by-play, give y'all a little piece of some history of some things, and also let y'all know what's been going on from some of the celebs and different people that have had things to say and the video and stuff that's been resurfacing. Okay, now, all right, and Miami has yet to say anything. Girl, this is good. This here is messy here, honey. But we are now about to get into the court documents. Because like I told y'all, I have yet to read them for myself. I'm about to read them with y'all. Oh, one more thing before we get into that. Sorry, y'all. I wanted to actually tell y'all about this secret investigation. Then we're going to get into that. Because this is what they're saying. He has this secret investigation or something. Diddy is the subject of NYPD criminal investigation. All right. They say apparently involves SA. Now, they said Diddy is the subject of a secret New York Police Department investigation. And although it's unclear whether or not Cassie and is involved or anything like that. They say whether Cassie made the criminal complaint, there is strong evidence it involves SA. Right? They go on to say law enforcement sources tell TMZ there is an open case at NYPD with the name Sean Combs on it. We're told it is an active case, but the case filed has been locked, essentially meaning it's a sensitive case where access is restricted. So I feel like they actually do have evidence when I hear this. That's my opinion. I don't know. I mean, maybe they just have her word, but I would want to think that they have some type of evidence. And this ain't looking too good. So if she takes this case to trial, because it doesn't look like she's gonna settle, because when we read the New York Times article the other day, his attorney tried to make it seem like it was a shakedown, whereas we learned from her attorney that Diddy offered her money to not speak. I guess it just wasn't the amount that she wanted. So now here we are. So it looks like there is a pending criminal case going on with this man, which is, girl, likely going to help her with her silver suit. So you should have just gave that girl what it is that she wanted, which was the 30 mil. Baby, this is messy. All right, they say, as we reported, Cassie has filed an explosive federal lawsuit which alleges rape and human trafficking, among other accusations. We inquired about the case to NYPD, and they responded with this statement saying the NYPD takes SA and RAPE cases extremely serious and urges anyone who has been a victim to file a police report so we can perform a comprehensive investigation and offer support and services to survivors. It would seem, based on the statement, not only is this a SA case, but the NYPD is actively looking for other alleged victims. Girl, this is giving R. Kelly. This is giving opening a can of worms of R. Kelly. And I feel like they're going to continue to apply the pressure until they get the details and the information that they want. Whew, child. Is there anything else? We contacted other law enforcement in numerous jurisdictions. Cassie mentions in her complaint, including Miami, Beverly Hills, and Los Angeles. At every juncture, we got the same reply. No police report has been filed as it pertains to Cassie or Diddy, and no investigation has been launched. We did find a 2016 case where TMZ broke the story that Beverly Hills cops were called after a breakup argument of some sort between Diddy and Cassie. A domestic incident report was taken, but no legal action followed. Okay. As we reported, Cassie has claimed everything when it comes to Diddy, after alleging Diddy forced her to have sex when it comes to male prostitutes. All right, because that could rise to a federal crime, we also checked the federal law enforcement sources, including the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District, as well as the FBI. Okay, so they're still searching for additional details. Diddy's lawyer has come strong, calling BS on Cassie's claims, and then says he told us most of her claims would be barred from criminal prosecution based on the statute of limitations. Her RAPE claim, however, could still be pursued here in Cali, so time will tell if she files criminal complaint here. Okay. I don't like that. I don't like how he's saying that he calls BS on her lawsuit and that her claims will be barred because of the statute of limitations. I hate that. I mean, you think that, I feel like the statute of limitations ran out on Bill Cosby, in my opinion, but y'all still made sure that y'all applied that pressure when it came to Bill. So I don't really, I mean, that's your job as an attorney that's hired, is to defend your client in all ways. But I just kind of feel away, like, it kind of sounds like to me he's trying to dismiss it as though it didn't happen because the statute of limitations are expiring on it. It's similar to me, it's similar to the people asking why she waited so long to talk about it. It's a lot of DV victims that don't feel comfortable talking about the harm that's been done to them for years until they get the strength to do so. Some people sitting around still holding on to stuff that happened to them. They just can't accept it. Like, wow, I really went through that. I don't want nobody to ever know about that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that, but okay. But anywho, he's denying it. But I just hate that the attorney, and that's what he gonna do. That's his job. He's making it seem like it's a shakedown, but your man's offered her money. Like, come on now. He still offered her money. Like, let's stop. But anywho, girl, let's see. Let me go ahead and get this case up so that we can get into what the hell has been going on there. Okay. Give me 1 second. I just want to get out of some of these files that I have over here. And then we will get into it. Make sure you guys are coming in, supporting the channel, liking up the video. I think we have over 800 people, almost 900 people in the chat. So hopefully we could definitely get the likes to a match. Okay. So let's get into it. Actually, let me blow this up. Can I blow this up? Or let me do it like this. Okay, there we go. I like that better. All right. Ooh, Chile. This is a lot here. All right, so let's go ahead and see. Oh, they have a trigger warning on this thing, y'all. So the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. So this is Cassie versus Diddy in all of his businesses, okay? Oh, wow. They're demand. So when it says jury trial demand, it looks like they're demanding a jury trial. Is that what she's demanding, or is that what the attorney is? Or is that just what it is? Like, who's doing that? Y'all know I gotta kind of look that up. Okay, if the party has demanded a jury trial on only some issues, any party. Okay, let me hit into that. Okay, any party within 14 days after being served with the demand or within a shorter time ordered by the court serve a demand for a jury trial on any other or all factual issues triable. Wow. Oh, so they do. That's what it seemed. I'm not an attorney, y'all. Okay, so I'm breaking this down for myself. A jury trial demand is a request to have your case decided by fellow citizens as opposed to the judge should you proceed to trial. Baby, I feel like if you try to go that hard to where you have your stuff addressed by the jury or judged by the jury, that for me lets me know that you have some serious evidence. So whatever he may have assumed or thought that he deleted, he didn't. Baby, this is crazy here. There is a trigger warning saying this document contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, okay, including sexual assault. Now they're saying plaintiff Cassandra Ventura hereby alleges as and for her complaint against defendant Sean Combs. Okay, they go on to list his different businesses. Now here's the preliminary statement. Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive, popularly known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or Diddy. Now, Mr. Combs came to fame in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy Records. He rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly referred to as a hip-hop mogul. Now in 2022, Mr. Combs received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. During his acceptance speech, Mr. Combs stated, "I have to give a special shout out. Thank you. Love to the people that was really there for me." He named a number of people before adding, "and also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times, love." Okay. I'm going to stop right there because I want to talk about it. Okay. When he says, I have to give a special shout out to all these people, thank y'all, and then says, "and also Cassie for holding me down in dark times." When I also hear that he was awarded last year, it makes me feel like he knew that he had some legal trouble on the way. Whether it's from the Keefe D situation, whether it's from this Cassie situation, I feel like he knew some troubles was coming his way soon. And what he needed, in my opinion, what he needed in this moment was to show how much he's appreciated and what he's done for the community and all this and that. That's what he needed, in my opinion, by getting this Lifetime Achievement Award, by saying, "I'm going to donate these millions of dollars to different HBCUs and stuff." You know what I'm saying? I feel like this was all his ploy. So should he go to court, they can look at him and be like, oh, he's not that bad of a guy. Look at what he's doing for the community. He's received X, Y, and Z. He has a remarkable story, whatever. You know, and then for you to also add Cassie, this was the shit I was talking about yesterday, where I feel like he sends like subtle shots to her or whatever. Because this ain't the first time he's done something like this. I feel like he's done it on social media. But now he's coming on television, telling some shout outs to Cassie for holding me down during dark times. I feel like he and Cassie were in conversation last year. Possibly just, just an opinion, not a fact. I feel like they were in conversation last year where he knew what the fuck was going on and she been trying to get her coin. Okay? Pay me for my pain, pay me for my time, and you could say the bullshit because everything is mine, is what it was given. And he tries to stall her out. And she like, okay, she had a conversation with her attorney, and what is given is the attorney like, okay, you move how you want to move. You got until November 24th or whatever day to go ahead and file what you finna file for a civil suit. So I'm just telling y'all what it is that I think when it comes to that right there. All right, now let's keep going. They say the truth, however, is that Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. Among other violent and unlawful acts, Mr. Combs, one, RAPE, RAPE'd Mrs. Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him. Often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on her, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Okay, we've already seen video. I'm sorry, not video, but we already seen photos of that, where they could likely try to line up the two to be the same. Because I just showed y'all photos not too long ago when they were out in Dubai back in 2014 or so. And she had the glasses on with the bandage on her forehead, the busted lip, so that could have possibly been one of these incidences. In addition to that, when it comes to stomped, when I hear stomped, I'm thinking about Gina and what Gina said that she's alleging that he did, which was stomp on her stomach. So that's what I'm hearing, child. I'm just listening. But let's keep going. Those little antics we would see on Making the Band, those little blow ups and stuff like that. I know for myself at one point, I was thinking that's just, making TV. Nah. No, not all of that was for making TV, baby. That's a little bit of who the hell that person was. They just wasn't laying it on too thick, but laying it on enough for the show. But let's keep going. All right. They go on to say blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in Ventura. Now they're saying romantically interested. I thought they were actually dating, I don't know which one's which, but either way, I don't think the man car should have been blown the hell up. And we're learning that man was Kid Cudi. And that for me came out when I read the New York Times. Okay. And they also said that a spokeswoman from Kid Cudi's camp has also confirmed that was indeed true. Okay. Or at least a spokeswoman from his camp says that Kid Cudi confirms that it was true. Okay. Now let's keep going. All right. They go on to say forced Miss Ventura to engage in sex acts with male workers while master, and filming the encounters. Ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby. Ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive. Now, who the hell was that? Y'all know what this made me think of, though, when I read it to y'all yesterday. New York Times, I'm going to keep referencing them. They mentioned that Diddy told her to hold his gun for him. Didn't the same thing happen with J-Lo, or what? Am I tripping? Something happened with J-Lo when it came down to the club situation. Remember, I think that sent Shine to prison or whatever like that. Didn't I don't know why I always thought that he told her to hold something for him. Okay, so it did. So I'm not tripping. So that did happen. Okay, so that's not an uncommon thing because we've heard it previously, and I think that's why he and J Lo broke up, because I think that she didn't hold him down how he may have wanted her to hold him down when all of that stuff was going on. That's what it was. Okay, he pushed it under her seat to make it seem like it was hers or something like that, and he wanted her to take ownership or something. Okay, I knew I went trip. I'm like, I remember hearing something like that. Okay. Gotcha. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for that. Okay, so let's keep going. They're saying he introduced Mrs. Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Now, why would he require her to get certain prescriptions so that he can? What kind of prescriptions was she getting? And why would he? I mean, I guess that's what he do. He would use her versus putting his name down so it'll look like she the one using it and it won't fall back on him. Girl, this is messy. Now they go on to say Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in 2005 when she was 19 years old and he was 37 years old. He signed her to his label, Bad Boy Records, and within a few years, lured Miss Ventura into a very interesting, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him, her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man nearly 2 decades her senior. Girl, this why I be so tired of hearing about these older men abusing these younger women. I'm like, y'all need to raise the cap on how old you got to be to date. Like, it can't be that when people 18 years old they legal no more. It need to be like 20 something. Cause y'all be killing me how y'all be preying on these young ladies. But let's keep going. Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Mrs. Ventura, personal and professional life, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. So that's something for y'all to know, for the people that be sitting up there trying to ask why she ain't been say something. Why this right here, baby. This right here, baby. Okay. A lot of people don't talk about it. All right. This right here. He asserted complete control over her life, made her feel very uncomfortable. Do y'all be watching Tina Turner and stuff like that, and how these men, they have mind control over women, make them feel like don't nobody want them and how can't nobody help them, especially being a man like Combs having all that money. You know what I'm saying? She probably feel like, hey, everywhere I turn, he gonna be there. You know, it probably took a lot of planning and stuff for her to get the hell out of that relationship. I don't fault this woman. In no ways, okay? They go on to say he provided unprecedented avenues for success for the aspiring artist, but in return demanded obedience, loyalty, and silence. Throughout their relationship, Mr. Combs was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat Miss Ventura savagely. These beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Mr. Combs' related businesses, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. Following these episodes of horrific abuse, Mr. Combs would immediately attempt to hide Miss Ventura and the evidence of his violent rage. He often showered her with gifts following incidents of physical violence, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. And you ain't never lied. I believe so far, listen, it's giving, it's true. I don't know if it's true. The jury shall decide should they go that far. But girl, listen, let's keep going. In addition to the physical assaults, Mr. Combs frequently reminded Ms. Ventura of his ability to cause serious harm, whether by requiring her to carry his gun in her purse. Hello, J-Lo, how are you? Or by blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in Ms. Ventura. Adding insult to injury, Mr. Combs used illegal substances and threats of violence to force Ms. Ventura into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male workers, male sex workers. Okay. Listen. I could see that too. That's leverage. That's something to hang over your head. That's another thing to keep you from going somewhere. Because if you do, all of this gonna be leaked out all over the world. People gonna really see what you getting into. You think that your career moving slow, you will have absolutely no damn career when I'm done with you. That's what it's given. Let's keep going. Over the years that Mr. Combs abused Miss Ventura physically and sexually, she again and again tried to escape his tight hold over her life. Every time she hid, Mr. Combs' vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found her, and those who worked for Mr. Combs' companies implored her to return to him. Many went as far as to explicitly state that her failure to return to Mr. Combs would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. When she believed that she had finally separated from her longtime abuser, she joined Mr. Combs for dinner, after which he forced her into her home and RAPE'd her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Child, listen, that's not too far-fetched in my opinion, because it's giving that you think that you own her at this point. You know what I'm saying? You think you own her. So for you to force yourself allegedly into this girl's home, it's very highly possible. Thank you so much, It's Rochelle O, for the super chat. I believe everything Cassie said. We've been hearing things. Jaguar Wright, true. I've been seeing so much stuff from Jaguar Wright over on TikTok, and actually even before then. So, girl, she be saying a lot. Okay. He silences people when they try to speak out, shaking my head. Carisha, run. Thank you so much, It's Rochelle O, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hey, Busy Blue, thank you for the super chat. It's Jamie's reporter voice for me. Keep doing the Lord's work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, Hanny. Okay. So yeah, so let's get into more. All right. Let's see. Where are we? I think we're up here. Yeah, I think we might be up here. Okay, so Miss Ventura has now fully escaped Mr. Combs, but the harm that the assaults and the sexual abuse has caused her to experience for nearly a decade will forever haunt her. She has required intensive medical and psychological care to cover from the trauma she lived through. Y'all, this is going to be interesting, because if she has all of these records that she's going to produce, and so much so is we willing to go to a jury trial if it takes that, and we have the evidence or whatever, y'all understand this. This girl is suing him for $30 million. The jury can award whatever they want, is what it's going to seem like. Because I believe not Tasha K, but Cardi B was suing Tasha K for like $75,000. That's the number I remember originally. It wasn't a lot of money. It was under $100K. It was just like, girl, let me sue you for this measly 75. Like, stop playing with me. The jury, not Cardi, the jury awarded Cardi $4 million. So this $30 million that she's suing for could rack up to 60 once they see everything in the damages. It could rack up to 100. I don't know. But it could potentially be more than 30 million. It could be lower, I guess, but it could definitely potentially be more than that. All right. So when I saw this intensive medical and psychological care and stuff like that, I was thinking about some of the stuff that was mentioned in Cardi's lawsuit. So I'm like, interesting. All right. They go on to say she cannot, however, continue to live in silence about what she endured. Mr. Combs remains immensely powerful and immensely dangerous. Miss Ventura therefore seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her with threats of violence, excessive use of drugs, physical and psychological abuse, and sexual slavery. Woo, girl. Now, according to Miss Ventura, accordingly, Miss Ventura brings this action seeking injunctive, declarative, and monetary relief against defendants in violation of the federal SEX trafficking laws. Ooh, the New York State human rights law. The gender motivated violence law. The New York Services for Victims of Human Trafficking law. Baby, the California Sexual Abuse and Cover Up Accountability Act, and the California Trafficking Victims Protection Act. So when we just read this TMZ article and they sent over there like, we don't know if she's going to press criminal charges or whatever over there in California because the statute of limitations isn't up for that. Baby, if you did not, Mr. Attorney, sir, if you did not go through this documentation, I feel like this right here is enough to let you know that she is going to apply pressure over there. If she's listing the California Sexual Abuse and Cover Up Accountability Act. Okay. And then she's also mentioning the California Trafficking Victims Protection Act. So it's coming. That's what it's giving to me. It's coming, baby. Hold tight. Hold tight. No, it's coming. Hold tight. This court has jurisdiction to pursue. I'll have to look up what this code is actually. To see what they're talking about as this action asserts violations. I want to look that code up though. So let me see if they tell me something. What is that? Okay, civil rights and elective franchise to recover damages for injury to his to one's personal to one's person or property, or because the deprivation of any right or privilege of a citizen in the United States. Okay. Let's see what else they have. And therefore raises federal questions regarding the deprivation of plaintiffs' rights. Okay. The court has supplemental jurisdiction over plaintiffs' related claims arising under the state. Okay. Let's see what else they have. Parties. Okay. Plaintiff, Miss Cassie is a resident of the state of California and Connecticut and was employed by defendants of Bad Boy Records LLC, Bad Boy Entertainment, and other entities that's connected to him. They said at all relevant times herein, Ms. Ventura met the definition of an employee of defendants under all relevant statutes. Now, the defendant, Sean Combs, upon information and belief, resides within the state of California. At all relevant times herein, Mr. Combs met the definition of an employer. Excuse me. Okay, let's see what else. Because they're just pretty much breaking down the different companies. Okay, factual allegations. Teenaged Miss Ventura meets middle-aged Mr. Combs as her career begins. Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in late 2005 or early 2006 after Mr. Combs heard Miss Ventura first single playing in a club and expressed interest in her signing his label, Bad Boy Records. I forgot who she was working with. Who was she working with at the time? Was it Ryan Leslie she was working with at the time? And then Diddy approached him and said that he wanted her. I think that he was like producing for her or something like that. And he, Ryan Leslie was or something. And Diddy snatched her up from him. Okay, but let's keep going. At the time, Ms. Ventura was 19 years old. Mr. Combs was 37. Within months, in February 2006, okay, Ms. Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Mr. Combs' record label. Not this girl signed a 10-album deal, but got 10 years of bullshit and only released like one album. Girl, I can't. Miss Ventura's first album, Cassie, was released in August of 2006, debuting at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard 200. Now, to promote the album, Cassie made television appearances on MTV's Total Request Live and BET's 106 in Park. Miss Ventura suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Miss Ventura's performances on these shows. Mr. Combs, however, sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent, telling MTV News this. You can hear the nervousness in her voice, and to be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous, and it was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you've got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's just a huge, and sometimes everybody handles it's just so huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently. Okay. while clearly paternalistic in noting that it was cute to him how regular Miss Ventura appeared. Mr. Combs' comments rang true to some extent. Upon signing with Bad Boy Records, Miss Ventura was quickly thrust into the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. Now, Mr. Combs' recognition and glorification of Miss Ventura proved to set the groundwork for his manipulative and coercive romantic and sexual relationship with Miss Ventura, a woman nearly 2 decades his junior. And you know he was going to leverage that over her head, meaning her career. That's why it was cute, because he saw her innocence. The way that she sat up there and she was so nervous to sing and all of that, he saw her innocence. And he saw that as an opportunity, in my opinion, to take advantage. But then he likely probably already saw that the moment that he decided to go ahead and sign her. And because she was like 19, I'm sure her parents were heavily involved. So I feel like he probably made it seem like, let me actually give her like an album. Let me show them that I'm actually going to do something for her and that they could trust me or whatever. And then from there, shit just went downhill. But you know, that's just my opinion, girl. Now, they say within a year of signing with Bad Boy Records, Mr. Combs became deeply entrenched in Cassie's life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and her personal life. I believe that. I definitely believe that. And then when you're young and you're so green and new to the industry, you're going to trust whatever he say, because look at how successful he is. So you're just going to start to just shed things and just let him take control and be like, yeah, you got it. Like, okay, I trust it. He's got himself this far. He's got other artists this far. So I'm going to trust his word and stuff like that. So she probably didn't even know what was happening when everything was happening. Now, they're saying in November 2006, Mr. Combs invited Miss Ventura to perform his song Come to Me along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards, okay, in Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, Mr. Combs walked around in a robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his label's newly signed artist. During hair and makeup leading up to the performance, Cassie's hairstylist and Mr. Combs' makeup artist told Cassie that Diddy was interested in her. In what way? He interested in what, girl? So then Cassie just shrugged off the gossip and in fact expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and him. Now, emphasizing the age and power dynamic, early on in their working relationship, Mr. Combs positioned himself as a father figure and protected Cassie. By way of example, after returning to New York after a trip to Las Vegas, during which she endured a brief hospital stay, Cassie, who by then was fully healthy, went out to a club with her friends. When Diddy saw her out, he reprimanded her, telling her to go home and take care of herself. At the time, Cassie thought that her record label was looking out for her well-being and that Mr. Combs had her best interest in mind. That's exactly what I'm thinking as I'm reading this. I'm like, look how he playing it up like he really cared because she just got out of the hospital. Girl, no. That's not what that is. That's not what that is. Let's see. Mr. Combs also ensured he was intertwined with Cassie's personal and social life, for instance, by inviting himself to her 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. He also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting his celebrity status and influence in front of young and impressionable Cassie. Although Mr. Combs knew that Cassie was in a relationship at the time, and even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Mr. Combs nevertheless pursued Cassie at an after party in a hotel suite following Cassie's 21st birthday. Now, Mr. Combs pulled Cassie into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. Cassie did not consent to this unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom and the hotel suite and cried. She told her best friend at the time about what happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. Now, at the Video Music Awards the following day, Cassie's boyfriend at the time joined her and Diddy at a table at the award ceremony. Diddy became angry, telling Cassie that the invitation to the award ceremony was only for her and not for her significant other. I could see all of this happening. Oh, I can see this. Let's keep going, child. Let's keep going. Mr. Combs lures Miss Ventura into a relationship. Now, despite her clear rejection of Mr. Combs' advances, Mr. Combs continued to demand that Cassie spend time with him, including for a weekend at his residence in Miami and for nights out in New York City. On one particular night around September 2007, Mr. Combs insisted on taking Cassie out. Now, Cassie was a little afraid, okay, but she didn't really want to go, but fearing that rejecting Mr. Combs' request would have repercussions for her album deal with him and his company. So obviously she decided to go. So Diddy picked up Cassie from her apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. Cassie was surprised that when she got into the car, Diddy was already inebriated. He handed her a pill and told her to take it. When Cassie asked what the pill was, Diddy dismissed her and told her she would like it. She later learned the pill was ecstasy, something that Cassie had never before tried and did not want to try. This was the first time Diddy got this girl high. Baby, this so detailed. Child, listen. Girl, we only on page 9, child. They about to wear me out. Mr. Combs then proceeded to drive recklessly at very high speeds down the West Side Highway of Manhattan. Cassie was very scared, but did not dare to object to Diddy's, who appeared drunk, okay? Drunk, high, and agitated. So she was scared, but she ain't saying that. Now, Mr. Combs took Cassie to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he proceeded to get into an altercation with the security staff who would not permit him to enter, presumably because he was belligerent. So because he was out there doing too much, they was like, you can't go in. So then Cassie decided to go home. But for the remainder of the night, Diddy messaged Cassie. He continued to message her, complaining that he left him, or at least I guess she left him high and alone. So then now he's trying to make her play like he the victim. And like she did something wrong to him. Whew. Child. Now, in early fall 2007, Mr. Combs flexed his power and influence when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by her. This fake posting allowed Cassie to have an excuse to go to Miami and get her away from her boyfriend by using the guise of a legitimate event she had to attend. So Cassie was stunned at how easily Combs was able to recruit others to lie for him. Not you done sat up there and created a whole fake ass flyer just to get this girl to come down there. Girl, that is something. Girl, this man is weird. Okay, they're saying Cassie was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of her record label, and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions, okay, she decided to go ahead and go to Florida. Now, during this trip to Miami, Mr. Combs provided Miss Ventura with copious amounts of drugs. She became more intoxicated than she ever had before, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Diddy to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse his urging of her to take more drugs. Now, after providing her with drugs, Diddy had sexual intercourse with this young lady on this trip. Now, within 2 years of meeting Diddy, Cassie found herself lured into an immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label, and one of the most powerful men in the industry. I just can see all of this playing out. I can see this, y'all. I understand that he's innocent until proven guilty or whatever the case is, girl. But I'm heavily leaning on her side. Now, Mr. Combs exerts control over Miss Ventura's career and personal life. Now, from the very start of their relationship, Diddy exerted his power and influence over Cassie. This dynamic was fueled by their nearly 20-year age difference, as well as their relative positions in the industry. Now, with Diddy, they say considered a music mogul, and Cassie at the very start of her career as an entertainer. Now, Diddy's aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Cassie soon learned that Mr. Combs insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Now, although Cassie have saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Diddy his display of wealth was actually intimidating to her. Diddy paid for things with wads of cash and would repeatedly tell Cassie, "Don't worry about money. I have money." And I know he did because he had everybody else goddamn money. But anyway, girl. Mr. Combs expensed lavish vacations for him and her, purchased a car for her, paid for her apartment, and provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. See, now when I see how he's hooked and hook, line, and sinkered in Cassie, I'm now wondering what was the dynamic of the relationship between him and Kim Porter and how they became together. What happened with that? How did y'all become one? They go on to say around 2008 or 2009, Mr. Combs began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for Miss Ventura. Now, they say the apartment was within walking distance of Diddy's New York residence. He first showed Cassie the apartment by bringing her there along with her parents. Cassie's parents were skeptical of the mogul's displays of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. Now, around 2010, Diddy similarly paid for an apartment for Cassie in Los Angeles, which was located about 5 minutes away from his residence. He paid for many of her apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2013 or 2014. All aspects of Cassie's life were controlled by either Mr. Combs or his management companies. Every event that Cassie attended, from the travel to the makeup and clothing, was paid for directly by Mr. Combs and his affiliated companies. Compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life, Diddy secured his control over the young and impressionable woman by introducing her to a drug-fueled lifestyle that kept her complacent and compliant. Diddy first introduced Cassie to opiates around 2008 and would often have pills and other drugs out in the open like candy. Now, upon information and belief, Diddy has been addicted to prescription painkillers and to ecstasy frequently. Now, they're saying at first Cassie was given the prescriptions that Diddy received from a doctor in Miami. Eventually, when Diddy exhausted his supply of pills, he demanded that Cassie would get the prescriptions from this Miami doctor in her own name. That was something I was questioning earlier. They're saying that Diddy also became deeply involved in Cassie's personal life with his personal staff, attending to Cassie's day-to-day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, Mr. Combs had Miss Cassie's personal medical records sent directly to his email address. For instance, when Cassie began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug use and or head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beatings, her MRI results were provided directly to him. Now, I'm wondering, how long do hospitals keep your records on file? And based on how long they keep your stuff on file, my question is, can she go back and get that stuff and show that he actually was receiving her information? Thank you so much, Cha RN. I hope I said that right. What folks need to do is have a sit down with Kim Porter's best friends, Ebony Elktra. She has the realty and has been very quiet. Ebony Elktra. I haven't heard of her. I'm gonna have to look her up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Brittany 12499. Jaguar Wright said he took Kim Porter from somebody. Ow. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brittany 12, Brittany 12. Okay, see how this rabbit hole goes? And now you got to do this research and just go down the rabbit hole. Okay, girl. Thank y'all for the super chats. I'm gonna have to look up both of that. Let's see. So yes, they're saying in this way, Diddy exerted ownership over Miss Ventura as another example of the ways in which he manipulated Miss Ventura and ensured obedience early on in their relationship. He asked Cassie what she called her grandfather. And when she said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, Diddy perversely insisted that she refer to him with that nickname. Girl, what? Girl, what? Ooh. Another one, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura's relationship becomes violent and abusive. What started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol-fueled parties quickly turned frightening and violent. Miss Ventura was also exposed to the intense violence that pervaded Diddy's rise to fame. Okay, for example, on one occasion when Mr. Combs and Miss Cassie were using drugs together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Diddy began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Cassie became terrified and began to cry. Not you out here trying to run down on Suge. Now, on at least 2 occasions, Mr. Combs demanded that Miss Ventura hold his gun in her purse. Cassie had no familiarness with guns and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Diddy required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. I would like the boyfriend to come to the front and let us know, how did the breakup happen? I just wonder how that breakup happened. Did y'all you lose contact with her? Did Diddy tell you that y'all done? Like, I would like for him to tell us exactly what happened with that breakup. Because all of a sudden, Diddy just became her man. Now, they say over the next decade, multiple times each year, Mr. Combs would violently beat Cassie, leaving bruises on her body. After every instance in which he beat Cassie, Diddy used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse, including by hiding Cassie in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. In one such instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Diddy beat Cassie repeatedly in an Escalade, including by kicking and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on 5th Avenue in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab, get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing there was no one she could tell about what happened at the hands of this incredible, powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in her apartment. Now, in January 2009, after Mr. Combs learned that Cassie spoke to another music manager at a party in Los Angeles, he became enraged. She had hoped speaking to this manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Diddy would be happy for her. But instead, he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car leaving the club, Diddy beat Cassie, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bonds, tried to stop the beating but was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Diddy's residence, Cassie attempted to run away, but Diddy followed her and proceeded again to kick her in the face. Cassie was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Diddy's home, where she began to throw up from the violent assault. This girl is giving Keke Palmer. I'm sorry, y'all. It's giving like when I was reading Keke's last week, the court documents, it was like so detailed. It was so detailed. And as we're going through this attorney is listing incidences as Roman numerals. And girl, we only halfway through the doc, if that. It's so detailed. Like I don't know. I won't want to believe nobody would make this up. You know? This is wild, but let's keep going. Girl, this is it's kind of pissing me off. And I'm like, get him, hurry up. If this everything she's saying is true to this man, then get him off the streets. Hurry up and snatch his ass up. Danger to society. Makes me question, Young Miami, my dear heart, what are you over there dealing with? What are you going through that you ain't telling nobody? And then, honestly, y'all, with that whole like BET Awards, that whole standing there with that sign, I think that was a scheme that he came up with to slick embarrass her, because she got joked the fuck out for having that sign at the BET Awards, posting it up for him. I feel like he told her to do that. I feel like that was a part of a humiliation tactic. That's just my opinion. Knowing that we was gonna drag her about it. Looking foolish, girl. And it'd be so funny because I'm gonna go there. City girls be ready to drag their fans, be ready to go in on anybody that say a little something about them or whatever. And I ain't even talking about like DJ Academics, he deserved that, whatever. I'm talking about like the fans, the commenters. But when it's stuff like this, y'all ain't got nothing to say. Have they put anything up on social media? Y'all ain't got nothing to say. Y'all real quiet though. But this your man's. This your man's. I'm just saying. This your man's though. But anywho, girl, let's keep going. Hold on. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Had this. I thought Al B. Short had said something, but he ain't really say too much, and then he's reflecting on when he was in a coma. But anywho, let me keep going, y'all. Let's get back to it. All right. So they're saying in the car leaving, I think we got into that. Okay. Now, upon recognizing the damage he had done and the physical evidence of his abuse, Mr. Combs panicked and forced his staff to bring Cassie to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in Los Angeles, where she was required to stay for a week. Now, during this stay, as her injuries from the beating healed, Cassie began to fully realize that Mr. Combs' tremendously loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Mr. Combs' behavior. She recognized that she was powerless and that reporting Mr. Combs to the authorities would not alter Mr. Combs' status or influence, but would merely give him another excuse to hurt her. Now, when I hear this, and I'm hearing that, it was loyal people within his network that saw this, witnessed this, didn't say nothing, didn't stop nothing. I wonder, should this go to jury trial? Is she going to, force them to sit there and testify on what they witnessed? It ain't looking good, baby. It's not looking good, girl. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. While in the hotel, she asked to go home to her parents, but Diddy wouldn't let her leave. She lied to her mother when asked about an online gossip forum that reported the assault. Diddy proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amounts of gifts for Cassie, which were delivered to the hotel room where she remained trapped. Cassie was terrified, isolated, and unable to see a pathway out of Diddy's abusive hold on her life. She found herself becoming numb to the abuse she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Diddy's demands. She began to blindly follow his instructions out of fear of again being on the receiving end of a vicious beating. By Diddy's own admission, his relationship with Cassie was like a Bobby and Whitney, a clear acknowledgement of the unequal power dynamic and excessive domestic violence that, was existing throughout their relationship. From the outside looking in, Cassie had heard others refer to her relationship with Combs as Ike and Tina. Her volatile and abusive partner, who also owned her label and therefore held her future success in his hands, had fully exerted control over every aspect of her life. Now, Mr. Combs forces Miss Ventura into sex trafficking, is what they're saying. Now, within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with the 40-year-old man, the 20-year-old woman felt beholden to his whims and demands. While in New York City, Diddy told Cassie that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Diddy said that it would turn him on if he saw her with another, D-I-C-K. The first time Diddy hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles, the man, Diddy, and Cassie wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Girl, what? Now let me switch over in my seat. Let me switch over into my seat over here, girl. Oh. Now, Diddy, I thought you wanted to watch. You don't think that the masquerade mask was going to obstruct your view just a little bit? Why did you put one on? Let's keep going. Now, Diddy directed Cassie to perform sexual acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He mastered, what, while he directed Cassie and the man to do specific sexual acts. That's all he did, was just master. That's it. Okay. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Diddy began to call the arrangement a freak off or FO. He would repeatedly tell Cassie at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Cassie was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of the male sex workers. At certain points during Miss Cassie and Diddy's relationship, he would insist on this FO weekly. Now, Diddy would repeatedly tell Cassie that this practice was our thing and our secret. FOs would often take place in hotel suites included at the Trump International Hotel, Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York, Miami. Ooh, girl, all over the place is given. Now, on one occasion around 2013, they said Diddy had an FO set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City, and after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars in damages by the hotel. Not you being charged with, now what y'all was in there doing, tearing shit up. Now what y'all, and tens of thousands of dollars by damages. Girl, let's keep going. Upon information and belief, Combs' chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel. Girl, if they got these records and they get to digging deep and they find that they done paid these people tens of thousands. Cassie was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find these male men. Not male men, but to find these male workers to participate in these FOs. And Diddy told Cassie to search for large black penises on the website. Now, sometimes Diddy would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, including to multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He required Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements. Now, Diddy assistants would help to set up the FOs too, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. Girl, let me look up Astroglide. I ain't never heard of that one right there. Now, we got to look that up. I don't know about that life. I ain't freaky like that. So let me go ahead and look up what an astroglide is. What is that? Oh, that's some type of lubricant. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's what they say. Let's keep going. They're saying that Diddy always supplied Cassie and the workers with copious amounts of drugs during and before the FOs. Cassie was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became common. Okay, it became a common place to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Ooh, Cassie was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO, and Diddy insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to smash her. Child, if she get just one of these men to come to the front, it's done. It's over if she gets at least one of them to step out. But let's keep going, child. Now somebody telling me they want them a consensual FO. I can't. Let's keep going. Now, during the FO, Diddy would instruct Cassie to pour excessive amounts of oil all over herself. Diddy would then instruct Cassie and the SEX workers to speak to each other, and then would specifically tell Cassie where to touch the SEX workers. Sir, how do you know? I can't. It's you guiding her around the male body. But let's keep going. Diddy would say things like, grab that big black DICK and ask her, how does it feel, as he directed her to perform for him. Child, this is some shit here. Now, during the FOs, in addition to directing Cassie and masturbating, Diddy would use his phone, a laptop, and tablet to film Cassie having SEX with a hired SEX worker. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. While Cassie quickly deleted any photographs or video of SEX acts if they were taken on her phone, Diddy repeatedly made it clear that he retained many videos of her during FOs. Even when she deleted the videos, Diddy would tell Cassie that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight and made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and the immense power he held over her. Diddy would pay the male SEX workers a few $1,000s in cash for their services. During some FOs, Mr. Combs would become extremely intoxicated and would hit her in front of these male workers. Now, Cassie was repulsed by Diddy's demands, but between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible power and incredible temper, Cassie became petrified of her partner and boss and felt that she could not say no. He even would present her with lavish gifts prior to or in the middle of the FO, seemingly acknowledging the ways in which these forced sexual encounters constituted work for Cassie and that he needed to compensate her for this work. At one point, he had given her so many designer bracelets for FOs, and immediately following his brutal beatings, that she felt that she was shackled by his presence. Now, frequently, her anxiety before an FO would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of vomiting. While kneeling over the toilet, Mr. Combs would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. Now, she knew firsthand that telling Mr. Combs that she did not want to engage in FOs she'll be met with anger and violence. Now, in addition, any suggestion that Cassie would refuse the FO or otherwise report Diddy's abuse was met with ultimatums by Diddy, who would say that Cassie could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. Okay. So for the people that was wondering, that's one of the reasons why she ain't never saying there. Okay. Now, around August 2015, in the middle of a surprise birthday dinner for Cassie's 29th birthday, Diddy insisted that Cassie leave the party and go to a hotel for a FO. When she expressed that she did not want to go, Diddy had Cassie cornered by his security staff in order to force her to leave with him. Now, after this FO, Diddy and Cassie went back to the hotel room that Cassie was staying in, where some of Cassie's friends were already hanging out. Diddy was severely intoxicated and at one point during the night picked up one of her friends like a child and dangled her over the balcony. And this was they were on the 17th floor. Okay, when he did this. Now, Cassie and her friends were scared by Diddy's erratic behavior, but Cassie was heavily sedated because the drugs she took to participate in the FO and therefore was unable to respond to Diddy's terrifying behavior. Now, the FOs became work for Cassie, and despite her protesting this, Diddy insisted on these intricately staged and forced sexual encounters between her and these male workers. He still wanted it to happen. He didn't care what she had to say about it. Let's keep going. Now they're saying anytime she tried to create distance between her and him, he used his networks to find her, convince her to return to his abuse. On multiple occasions, Diddy sent his employees to lure her back. In 2011, during a rough patch in their relationship, she ended up having a brief relationship with Kid Cudi. When Mr. Combs returned from a trip, he demanded another FO from her, and she pretty much was like, "Nah, I'm good." Now, well, hold on. Let me make sure I understand it right, because I want to make sure I understand it right. Okay, no, I'm sorry. She didn't say she was good. She pretty much was like hesitant, but she went ahead and moved forward with it anyway. Now, during this FO, Diddy found her phone, and that's when he found emails between her and Kid Cudi. And then Diddy became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between her fingers and launch. What? Oh, he placed one in between his fingers and then he launched at her. Now, Cassie ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's home to escape Diddy's wrath. Soon after that, one of Diddy's staff members told Cassie he needed to just talk to Diddy, even though Combs was enraged. Now, feeling like she could not escape Diddy and his network of enforcers, Cassie returned to Diddy. He hit her several times, then kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where her mother took pictures of the bruises and Diddy had left on her. Okay. Now, in February of 2012, during Paris Fashion Week, Diddy told Cassie that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car did explode in his driveway. Now, Cassie was terrified as she began to fully comprehend that Diddy was both willing and able to do those due to those he believed had slighted him. Okay. Now, in 2015, Cassie spoke to a popular music manager at an after party in a hotel suite. Diddy saw her speaking to this manager and sternly told her to step into the bedroom adjoining the suite. In the bedroom, Diddy beat Cassie severely. She ran from corner to corner of the room trying to avoid Diddy beating and kicking her. When she tried to lock herself in the bathroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked her while she curled up under the toilet. Her screams were drowned out by the loud music playing in the outside area of the hotel suite. Now, when Diddy head of security and assistant saw Cassie after the assault, they began to cry. Okay, well, we need to bring them to the front then. The head security and the assistant, we're going to need them to be witnesses then. Okay. Now, Cassie had 2 black eyes, a burst lip, and a bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead. So I guess that's from that photo I showed y'all. Child, that's crazy. Now let's keep going. Now they say upon seeing the results of this vicious attack, Diddy immediately took steps to conceal his wrongdoings. Now he forced Cassie to stay at his home along with one of his sons. While there, Diddy FaceTime Cassie and stated, "You got to get up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that." So she did. She put on the makeup, and Cassie felt that she had no choice but to obey her abuser, even though security guards, assistants, and friends saw the situation she was in, and no one dared to help her or speak on her behalf. She therefore had no choice but to remain, obedient pretty much. Now, later in 2015, while shooting a movie in South Africa, she became flirtatious with an actor. She spent New Year's Eve with this actor, but Diddy soon found out. Wait, did she do a movie with Terrence Howard, or am I tripping? Did she do a movie with Terrence Howard? That was in 2016. At least it came out in 2016. So when are they saying that this was done? Later 2015. BITCH. Her and Terrence was over there flirting, girl. Her and Terrence was over there flirting, and they was crushing on each other, is what it's giving to me. Because that's the only movie I remember her doing. Okay. And they said she spent New Year's Eve with this man. But Diddy soon found out, and Diddy called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Cassie and tell her, "You really need to call your boy. You really need to call Diddy." Girl, this is some interesting shit here. Everybody knew this man was a motherfucking fool. I feel like Cassie was the only one afraid of this man's power. Okay. Child, let's keep going. Cause Terrence J. I see now. I'm gonna be wanting to find clips of of Terrence J interviewing Diddy. Now I'm gonna want to look up and see if they've had any interviews with each other since 2015, just to see, how they fake it on the camera. But anywho, in or around March of 2016, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, Diddy became extremely intoxicated and punched her in the face, giving her a black eye. And that's what I want to happen to you should you go get locked the fuck up. Because one thing about it is giving you like to kick, scratch, stomp, and give black eyes. I can't. I just can't. Let's keep going. After he fell asleep, Cassie tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Diddy woke up and began screaming at her. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She began to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that, girl, this makes me think of Tina Turner. Upon realizing that her running away would cause Diddy to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in a vicious cycle of abuse, Cassie returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her abuser. I could see that. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing that Diddy was beating her and throwing glass at her in the hallway. Now, upon information and belief, Diddy paid this Intercontinental $50,000 for the hallway footage from that evening. After this, Miss Cassie left her home and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. Okay, they say James Cruz, who was the president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Cassie down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Diddy's phone calls. Child. I want everybody arrested. I want enablers arrested. If y'all witnessed any harm being done to this young lady and y'all didn't try and stop it or whatever, and y'all could have been in fear too. But I want y'all arrested as well. And y'all could talk about all of this when y'all behind bars. Like, that's what it's really giving. But let's keep going. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Diddy even convinced one of his attorneys to call this girl at this time. The attorney told Cassie that it's in your best interest to call this man back. Each time Cassie tried to run away, Diddy and his powerful network will force her to call back. Okay, will force her back to him. Now, Diddy's tight hold over her life had a lot of damage. Okay, did a lot of damage, irreparably damage to her relationships. Okay, her friendships and stuff. So, like around 2018, when Cassie was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house, Diddy used his key to Cassie's house to come in unannounced. Now, wait a minute. Around 2018, when Cassie was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house, Diddy used his key to enter Cassie's home unannounced. He and Miss Morgan had an altercation during which Diddy threw a hanger at this girl, Miss Morgan. Upon information and belief, the incident resulted in a settlement between Diddy and Miss Morgan. Oh, really? I'm gonna have to look into that. Now, Cassie ended up paying her friend additional funds in an attempt to resolve the dispute between her close friend and her abusive and controlling boyfriend. So wait, so it was a settlement between Diddy and the friend, and then Cassie ended up paying this girl additional funds to resolve the dispute between them. The relationship between Cassie and Morgan has been strained ever since. Ooh, baby. Miss Morgan, would you like to come to the front as well? Carrie Morgan, it ain't gonna take long for the people to find you and identify who you are. Would you like to also come to the front and be on the witness stand? Do you still have a copy of that check or that transaction that went into your account roughly around 2018? It wasn't that many years ago, just 5. I'm sure your bank can go back 5 years or so, please. Let us know. But let's keep going. Seeing the extreme measures that Diddy took to keep a tight hold on this young woman and isolate her from her support network, and having experienced the repercussions of rejecting his demands, Cassie felt that saying no to Diddy would cost her something, which was her family, her friends, her career, or even her life. And that's interesting because she probably would have felt like he would have got away with that too if he clapped her. So let me be mindful of how I move, because he may take me up out of here too. Oh, you did? Okay, let me check that. You just sent me her. Okay, I see a few people that sent me something. Let me double check. Okay, I see this people flooding her comment section. Okay. All right, let me pull this up too. Can I pull that up? All right, I'm gonna try to add some more. Child, this is messy here. You sent me her profile. Oh, this is Carrie. Let me see if I could click on. Did it open? Okay, let me see if I can share so we all can see Miss Carrie. I gotta share the screen again. So this is Miss Carrie, y'all. This is Miss Carrie Morgan, who was good friends with Miss Cassie, honey. And Diddy tried to play Miss Girl, and Miss Girl said, What that lady told Tina when Ike hit her about that cake and stuff. Don't never sit up here and let a mother play you, whatever. So Miss Carrie then got her coin back. But let me see what they say is Storm over here talking about.
That everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez
Let me go back.
walked away, saying she was going home.
Let me refresh then, because
Jennifer
I want to
Lopez,
catch it from the beginning.
who was in the Navigator when it was stopped by police. An officer testified that everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez walked away, saying she was going home. As Jennifer Lopez, who was in the Navigator when it was stopped by police. An officer testified that everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez walked away, saying she was going home. As Jennifer Lopez.
Dang, I wish they would have played the rest of that. I'm gonna have to go find it. I'm sure they're gonna have it on TikTok at some point. So what are we marking here? What are we marking here? What are they circling? Let's take a trip down memory lane. Number 1, J-Lo almost caught a gun charge after Diddy slid the hit gun under her seat in the truck after the infamous 1999 club shooting, and the rest of the exhibits. Peep the white nails Cassie wears. Oh, gotcha. Based on the Yeah, wanting her to wear white nails when she's over there smashing these men. Okay, and body language and her posing. Leave your thoughts below. Okay. Interesting. Oh, wow, Miss Cassie. I hate that you endured all that you endured. Child, this shit, and I'm pissed. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I am pissed about it. I really am. It's hard for me to not believe what this lady's saying because I do believe it, and it just pisses me off so much. Like, please come wrap his ass up. Please come wrap him up. Please come. But let's go ahead. We got more. Let's keep going. This is where they go into details about him RAPing this young lady. Now, by 2017 and 2018, Cassie became desperate to leave Diddy and his abuse of her. She recognized that if she stayed with him, she would never be able to have a successful career or ever be physically and mentally safe. She therefore became determined to completely break away from this man and his cycle of abuse and make concerted efforts to avoid him. So in September of 2018, she joined Diddy for a dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, California, for what she believed would be a discussion about concluding their relationship for good. After dinner, Diddy and Cassie returned to her home, which was paid for by Diddy. So that's another indicator as to why I could feel like she got to let him in, because clearly he's the one that pays for it. Now, Diddy forced himself into her apartment and tried to kiss her. She told him to stop and attempted to push him away. Diddy then forcibly pulled her clothing and unbuckled his belt, and he proceeded to RAPE her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Soon after, Cassie took steps to completely separate herself from him, including by leaving the home that he paid for and returning the car he purchased for her. Despite moving away, Cassie's address was posted online in early 2019, leading to fears for her safety. Now, Cassie, who was under immense duress during the months after Diddy RAPE'd her, took all steps possible to entirely remove herself from her abuser's ambit, including by entering into contracts to end her record deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. Now they go on to talk about Diddy's sexual and physical abuse of her and how it's caused her lifelong harm. So she says, as a result of the immense trauma Cassie endured over a decade with Diddy, she has suffered and continues to suffer from immense emotional distress. Following her escape from the cycle of abuse and sex trafficking she endured, she struggled with the physical and mental manifestations of her trauma. The birth of her 2 children, however, allowed her a new lease on life and gave her purpose. She credits her children for saving her from the trauma that she had consumed over a decade of her life. Except for the months when she was pregnant with her children, Cassie struggled with addictions to drugs and alcohol. Addictions that were established and fueled by Diddy. She turned to substances to drown out the memories of her abuse without being intoxicated. She suffered from horrific nightmares of the forced sexual acts that Diddy demanded she participate in during the regularly scheduled FOs, and the physical beatings that she endured throughout her relationship. She had difficulty eating or sleeping, and her relationships with her family suffered. During this time, she frequently had thoughts of ending her life. Interesting. Okay, so except the months for when she was pregnant. So it seems like she stopped using and abusing when she was pregnant. But any other time, she was continuing to use those drugs and alcohol to just cope with life. Got you. To rebuild her life and career, Cassie needed to completely reinvent herself. She checked herself into an inpatient treatment at a rehabilitation center where she first confronted the extent of the trauma she lives with. She has required intensive therapy and other medical care to recover from what Mr. Diddy did in his abuse, okay? And she will forever live with the physical and psychological repercussions of the over a decade violence, fear, and exploitation that she endured. Okay? Mm-mm. Although Cassie was unable to speak up against the years of abuse she endured at the hands of Diddy, she has since been able to rebuild her life and confront her trauma. Thanks to the passage of the New York's Adult Survivors Act and California's Sexual Abuse Accountability and Cover Up Act, she is now ready and able to also confront her abuser and to hold him and those who enabled his abuse accountable for their mother actions. And I know that's right, because I'm like, everybody needs to be arrested at this point. I do not care. Everybody needs to be arrested at this point. What else are they saying? Plaintiff repeats and realleges each and every allegation in all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. Okay, so is there anything else? Because I feel like we just pretty much went through everything. Violation of the New York's. Okay, so these are just listing the violations, it looks like. And the different laws that they are coming up against, each portion of his company. So, let's see. Yeah, we pretty much know all of that. So I'm not going to read all of that. Yeah. She's suing. And she ain't just suing him. She's suing the companies and she's holding people responsible. So we shall see how this is going to play out for Miss Cassie, honey. Plaintiff prays judgment be entered in her favor against defendants, and each of them as follows. For a money judgment representing compensatory damages, including consequential damages, lost wages, earnings, and all other sums of money together with interest. For a money judgment for mental pain and anguish and severe emotional distress. For a punitive and exemplary damages according to proof. Attorney fees she wants them to pay, and those costs for pre-judgment and post-judgment interest, and for such other and further relief as the court may deem just as proper. So again, if they want to add more, they can. All right, but whoever her attorneys are, baby, these motherfuckers is on it. The way they wrote this book and gave us more details. Oh, y'all, it's been a whole lot going on out here in these streets. Let me just check to see if there's been any additional updates, as we pretty much went through all the pages. I wasn't going to go through the individual laws, but we pretty much went through all of the pages. I don't know if y'all saw this. Is this that video? Let me show y'all this video real quick. Now, where is it? Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Let me try and show y'all. I don't know if y'all saw this video surfacing around, but it's really interesting.
So like crazy. I am being shown November of 2023. So her death date was November 15th of 2018, but I'm being shown November of 2023. I don't think we're done with this. I feel she's shaking her head yes. Before she stare at me, then she wait, and now she's shaking her head yes. I am being shown that things are being prepared. She is showing me a trumpet. People are standing straight up, and there are people going to speak, not just about what happened to her, about other things. Something is unraveling. For some reason, she's showing me like, was one of her kids, I wonder, in band? Because she's showing me like trumpet marching band type music, which is weird because I don't think that that's her favorite, but I'm being shown that. Somebody is leading the march, leading the way there. That's what it is. Somebody is leading the march, leading the way to uncover this information. And I'm getting 5 months. So I feel, sorry, I keep laughing because she's like, out with it. Toxic metal exposure. Personal, private, written, handwritten documentation about what was said to her 3 months before she passed, what she witnessed, and the final straw that she couldn't take anymore. And it's not a case of domestic violence. It goes far beyond that and that. So it is domestic violence, but it's far, far beyond that.
Wow.
So she goes in a completely different scope. 5 months. The time is being marked 5 months. So this is June, July, August, September, October, November. I'm going for November 15th or right around there. It's coming out. It will not be, you cannot keep this. She's literally, you cannot stop the truth. And she has like, this is it. So like crazy. I am being shown.
Baby, listen, I'm going to have to go back. Ouch. And I'm going to have to watch this, this lady's video. I know a lot of people don't really be in on this psychic stuff, and y'all be like, nah, that's working. I understand it. I respect whatever your opinion is, and how you feel about that. But I ain't gonna lie, this lady did this video in June of 2023 on YouTube. Okay, she did this video on YouTube 5 months ago, and when I tell you she hit the nail on the mother head, that is exactly what this lady did. Okay. She said somewhere around November 15th was when it was going to happen. She was a little bit of a day off because it filed on the 16th. I guess they was preparing everything on the 15th so they could submit it on the 16th. Okay. So that lady hit the nail on the head, and listen, that's some wild shit. And guess what? It's not the last. So a lot of people saying, I feel like this ain't it. It's not it. It's not it. There is more that's about to drop out. There is more. I told y'all yesterday, I said, I feel like the shoes are dropping, and I don't even think the last shoe done dropped, like the big one. Nah, it's still more that's going to come out. Thank you so much, Shine Good, for the super chat. All the images with Diddy and Kim, she's wearing white nail polish all the time. That's wild. Thank you so much for the super chat, girl. That is insane. That is insane. Let me see if there's anything else over here. Hold on. Somebody said, it was some in the comments where somebody said, where is it? Woo, just watched her part 2 video, and she was talking about some deep demonic sexual ritualistic acts that he was doing. It's some dark secret society type stuff. I definitely believe she was murdered. Now, wow, y'all. Wow, people are alleging that he may have had something to do with Al B. Short getting in a coma. I'm not sure about that, but it looks like Al took today to kind of like, reflect on his journey and stuff is what it's given. Yep. Well, that's what's pretty much going on. But when Al B. Shore was saying something happened to Kim Porter, nobody wanted to listen. Then he got sick suddenly. Y'all should have listened. They rekindled before she passed. This ain't it, y'all. So I keep your ears to the streets. I think more details are coming out. And what I can say is that Keke Palmer and them and Will Smith and them and whoever else are probably glad as hell that somebody else's tea is being talked about right now and not theirs. All right. So give it some time. Because I feel like little Darius Jackson gonna do something else, child, and then we're gonna be out here talking about them again. Because he keep trying to prove his damn point or whatever, and it ain't none of the points working in your favor, baby. So have a seat. Okay. So the people is cutting up the last part of the year because they want to get it all out their system before 2024 comes in. So we just gonna see how everything plays out for those people. Okay, that's really all that I got. I ain't really got no more. Let me make sure I check my messages and stuff because I always get stuff after I done hopped off the doggone live. Let me just double check, make sure ain't nobody send me nothing that we need to get into before we go. No, what is this? Let's make sure. Oh, okay, cool. She just sent it to. Okay, thank you. All right, cool. So I think we're good on this topic at this particular time. More details will fall out at a later time. Y'all be sure to support the channel. We have 1,800 people plus in the chat. So hopefully you guys are liking the video because we love for the likes to match. Okay. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. Okay. But that is all that I have. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Follow me over on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross somebody came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.